And then that is your third book with Tokyo Pop, right?
Yep.
And this one is in one of your all-time favorite TV shows, right?
Oh yeah, Battlestar is my totally. Well, the funny thing is, after Star Trek, I gave Lewis a box set of Battlestar season 1, which he didn't watch for like a year and a half. So I'm home one night and he calls me. He's like, "Holy crap, dude! This Battlestar stuff is so awesome. This is great." So in the back of my head, when I gave him the box set, I was thinking, okay, like if they could do this, maybe we could do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what to do? And he's like, what? Watch season 2? I was like, no, man, go get the rights. And so he was able to score the rights. You know, Tokyo Pop paid for him. And I was allowed to pitch to it. And I said, you know, I bet we could probably bring Richard Hatch into this too. He's like, no, we can't afford Richard Hatch. I was like, you'd be surprised. So we went out for sushi with Richard, and you know, one of the stories I pitched was the Tom Zarek story. And so, yeah, he readily agreed to write it. And we got to do a tour with my favorite actor, and that was cool. And,
that's like a dream come true.
It really was. And that was before Collection Intervention. That's how we actually got him on Collection Intervention.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You guys were like, hey, listen, we you know, how do you know Richard? Like, how did you kind of get a chance to meet him?
How did I meet him? It was funny. Like, he had a website. Actually, he had the Battlestar Galactica website. Are you kicking me? And they were looking for somebody to oversee a comic book project. And there was a phone number on the site. So I thought, oh, he's got a production office or whatever.
Yeah.
So I called, and he answered. He's like, hello. I was like, hey, I'm calling for this thing. He's like, oh, hi, yeah, this is Richard. I'm a little busy right now, but can you meet for dinner tonight? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'd had Mac Afro out by then, so I took Mac Afro, and I took some other... Like, I was like, this is my favorite star. He wants to meet for dinner and discuss his project. So we went up there, and I mean, that's when you learn that these people that we admire, they're just like us, you know?
It's crazy.
Like, he lived in a one-bedroom apartment, and, you know, he was like, we're splitting this dinner, right? I'm not buying your dinner. I'm like, no, it's cool, man. So yeah, and again, that project never happened, but after that, like, you know, we were able to keep in touch, and we'd hang out at conventions and go to the tequila bar, go to the piano bar, and, you know, go to dinners and stuff. And yeah, this is my childhood hero, you know, and yeah, I mean, I could tell some funny stories out of him, but yeah, he's great, and he's just as flawed as any of us. So
yeah. But it's so cool to get a chance to kind of not only meet your childhood hero, but then kind of go so close to him.
Yeah, we became friends, and on the Battlestar Collection Intervention, like, when you watch it, it's like I don't know him, you know,
of course.
And Elise Luray brings him in, but really that was sort of one of my selling points to being on the show, because my house wasn't in disarray. It wasn't to the point where it was, you know, I'm clinically insane like some of the other people. And I was like, but if you cast me, I could probably get Richard Hatch. And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, let's ask him. So he agreed to do it, and you know, it was like a 3-day shoot, and yeah, it was. So at the end of the episode, he gives me the original Battlestar script, the one that he read from for the pilot. Yeah, and there's these beautiful Ralph McQuarrie paintings inside, and the show kind of leaves it at that, but he and I had a verbal agreement that I would get him the script back. And but I had it for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And we finally there was a book coming out called Death of Apollo through Dynamite, and we did a signing, and he came down to do the signing at my shop on the condition that I would give him his script back. So we did a signing, and then we went to dinner after, and I gave him the script back. I was like, oh. Then he passed away last year, and I was like, oh man, I'm glad that we had that moment.
Of course.
I kind of wish that maybe I never called him and still had the script, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the geeky collector in me.
I think to me, the more important thing is the memory and the moments you had with him. Like, to me, that is so... The experiences, to me, that lasts forever. You know, like, that's the stuff of legend, you know, like, who has those experiences with somebody you grew up idolizing?
Look at, today, I mean, Stanley passed,
I know.
We should say, but... and you had experiences with him. He's been to my store once, and
he's did signings on Free Comic Book Day and been there, and you know, he
didn't know who I was, and everybody thinks that we were buddies. I mean, I would love to be buddies with Stanley, but yeah, he knew a lot of people and met a lot of people, and so it wasn't like, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, he was old by the time I met him. He was over 90.
Right.
And even for me, I had met him like, twice or 3 times, and he would still be like, I know you. What's your name again? Like, he's an older gentleman, and you got to be,
I mean, towards the end, they just kind of carted him around everywhere and, had him go through all these motions and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, I'm bummed that he passed away. I'm kind of glad that he's free of all the people that were around him that you read about, Hollywood Reporter and stuff. So
I'm he's gone to a better place, and
I hope so.
And he is responsible in a large part for what we both do. He has created so many of these iconic characters that we know and love.
Yeah,
and is responsible for getting so many fans in the industry. And he's really left a mark on the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the number one. His ideas have been the number one box office. Movies for the last 5 or 6 years, right?
A lot of the comics he's co-created have just gone in, like, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, you name it. He's just been a part of it, and it's just been a part of this world we live in. That it's now every other movie, every other franchise is now come from him or part of him.
I met him first time I met him. I took him a copy. I just had Mac Afro #4 in my car, so I was like, let me give him a Mac Afro. Just let him know what an influence he was. Mm-hmm. So it was at the you ever heard of a group called CAPS?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was at a CAPS meeting he was speaking at, and this was before he was super famous. Stan Lee. This would have been 2002. So I go to give him this book, and he takes it and he signs it, and gives it back, and I was like, oh no, I was giving it to you because because of you I write comic book. And he's like, oh, and he goes to take it. I was like, but now you've signed it, so I need to keep it. So that was my first interaction with Stan. So,
I love it. Yeah. You're like, but you signed it. Now it's actually gonna be. I get to keep this
cool,
forever.
Yeah. So I have a Mac Afro #4 signed by Stanley.
I love it. That's so cool.